These accessories and settings completely change how I use my DJI Action 5 Pro.
And here's why you might need them too. Today I'll break down why each accessory matters, when to use them, and the right setting I recommend.
Let's kick things off with the gears that completely change the way I shoot. And yup, most of them are from Telesin. Just a quick unboxing to show what to expect fresh out from the box. The Action 5 Pro is waterproof and durable, but if you're mounting it on a lot of things, a cage adds extra protection and gives you more mounting options. It has a quarter thread on the side and a cold shoe mount, which is super useful for mics or lights. Compared to the stock cage, this one makes battery swapping easier. It's a bit bulkier and heavier, but honestly, that's not a deal breaker for me. Since the Action 5 is compact and travel friendly, you'll want a case to keep things organized and safe. This one has slots for your SD card, 2 mounting plates, the camera itself, and 4 filters. And speaking of filters, you really only need 2 kinds of filters, a CPL and an ND, which we'll talk about next. First, the CPL filter removes glares and reflections. It's perfect for shooting water, at the beach, or capturing cars without distracting highlights.
But before we dive into ND filters, let's talk about the settings I recommend to get that cinematic film vibe aesthetic.
For the resolution, I always shoot in 4K to maximize quality. For aspect ratio, I use 4:3 if I want cropping flexibility in post, or 16:9 if I already know my final orientation. For cinematic motion blur, I use 24 FPS, but for action shots that will be slowed down later, 120 FPS or even 240 FPS at 1080p. For the stabilization, I usually pick Rocksteady for smooth footage without extreme cropping, and I feel like Rocksteady Plus isn't worth it. It just crops in too much, and the standard Rocksteady is already stable enough. On the right side, which is the distortion, I stick with wide, which feels like the default. Standard is the de-warp version, and the ultra-wide feels like the lens warp effect, which you can just add in post. Now let's go with the actual settings, the Pro mode and color profile. And if you don't see these options, make sure Pro mode is enabled. I leave white balance in auto. The texture and noise reduction are set to -2. I turn off color recovery and use D-Log M for 10-bit color grading. And if you don't know how to color grade D-Log footage, I've linked a lot I use in the description. Now, the shutter speed should be double your frame rate, for example 1/50 for 20 FPS. And for ISO, I typically limit it to 100 to 1600 or 100 to 800 for cleaner results. With these settings, your image might be cooked. So on the top right of your screen, check the EV reading. If it's above 1.5 EV or 2 EV, your footage might be overexposed. So if you're seeing +2 EV or higher, you need an ND filter. Start with ND8, and if it's still too bright, go for ND16 or ND32, especially under direct sunlight. So ND filters lets you control exposure without cracking up ISO, which keeps your footage clean and free from grain.
Always remember that the higher the ISO, the more grainy the footage.
Let's go back to the accessories, and by the way, I also use other accessories from different brands. Like this quick release plate, originally for my monitor, but I also found Action 5 Pro mounts too. It is perfect for tripods, POV rigs, or clumps. When I bought this camera, it already comes with this suction mount, which is great for stable car shots or attaching to glass surfaces. While for POV shots, this chest mount is my go-to. When it comes to low light environment, this little thing saved my clips at night. Though it's not really ideal, but it's better than nothing. And lastly, if I want a lightweight vlogging setup with no receiver, this DJI Mic Mini plugs right into the camera and captures clean audio. Don't use ND filters at night. When it's dark, they'll just make everything more dark. What you need is more light or higher ISO. Next, CPL filters need adjustment. Twist them until you see the glare disappear. Don't just slap them and go. And lastly, the cage isn't always necessary. If you're not adding attachments or need a lightweight setup, it might be overkill. And that's it. There's the accessories and settings I use to make my DJI Action 5 Pro looks and feel cinematic.
Full disclaimer, I'm still experimenting and learning how to master this camera. So if you have better settings or tips, please leave it in the comments. Not just for me, but for those who might find this helpful too. All the gears I mentioned is linked in the description. Now let me ask you a question. What accessory are you getting first? Let me know in the comments. Like if this helped, share this to a friend. And please don't forget to subscribe for more camera and tech stuff. Thank you guys for watching and for the support. Follow for more and bye-bye.